And good morning. Let's give John a round of applause. He has left us for greener pastures, but yet he has come back to help us facilitate this event, and he just does a tremendous job. And I know whenever he leaves the microphone, he leaves us feeling a lot better. So please help me recognizing and thanking John for hosting. It is so great to be with all of you this week. It feels like just yesterday we were wrapping up our spring sports and track and field was just ending, and yet here we are in mid-July talking about football. We're so excited to be here in Park City to host you to kick off the beginning of our fall season. This event really does start the beginning of a new year, and so we're glad to be together to start talking about football, because we know our college football fans cannot go very long without their favorite sport. So we're glad to be here. We know for our coaches and our players, it's difficult to get away from home, to leave campus, and to spend some time so early on in the preseason, but we're grateful that you're here, and we're honored to be able to highlight and showcase your programs for the upcoming year. This year marks the 55th year of the Big Sky Conference. We have enjoyed many successes. We continue with many traditions, but I have to tell you, none of that is possible without everyone in this room. The Big Sky, this is our team. This is who allows us to do what we do, and we're grateful for it every day. I do want to take a moment to recognize a few people this morning, probably a lot of people. First and foremost, our Big Sky staff. You've seen them kind of sprinkled around the room, doing a lot of work to put on a special event like this one. They've been putting together all the logistics to be able to host you this week, so we're grateful for all the hard work that you guys do on our behalf. We do have some new staffers here as well, and I want to take a moment to introduce you. So if you're in the room, please stand when I say your name. We have Alex Kelly, who just joined us as a coordinator. I think he's actually doing a last-minute road trip for us in terms of logistics that we've got going on. But he's going to be working with our championships department, but also with communications, so he'll be working with a number of the media that are in the room today. We're also joined by Lee Williams. Thank you, Lee. He has joined us from Utah State. He's our Assistant Director of Communications. He will primarily be working with women's basketball, volleyball, track and field, and a number of other sports, but also working with the folks here in the room today. Thank you, Lee. Also, hot off the presses, I'm not even sure the ink has dried for the letter of acceptance, but many of you guys know Denise Thompson from NAU. She is joining us as our Assistant Commissioner for Communications as well. Thank you, Denise. We're excited to have her on our team and leading our communications efforts, as well as public affairs, strategic planning, and a number of other things. And so we've had a great opportunity to round out our staff going into this new year, and we're excited about our organization and how we're moving forward. I also just want to take a moment again to thank our coaches and our players. It's an exciting time. We know that you guys have significant time demands that pull you in a lot of different directions. So we're fortunate to be with you here this week. We're going to take advantage of having the opportunity to speak with you, spend time with you, share your stories, identify those goals that you've set for your team this year. So thank you for all that you do in allowing us to be here today to celebrate Big Sky football. We have media. I think last year we were talking about who has come to the most Big Sky football kickoffs, how many people have been covering the Big Sky over a number of years. I think some of you don't want us to share some of those numbers, but truly you give us a voice. You give us that opportunity to share our stories and share that with our alums, our fans, and the public. And so we're grateful for all of the media and those who've given your time and talent to cover our conference. And then our communications folks who are in the room, you guys work so hard to facilitate all of our needs with every program to ensure that the media has what they need to do their jobs, and so we're grateful for all the work that you do. And finally, and certainly not least, we've got our senior women administrators and our athletic directors who are in the room as well. We're grateful for your leadership, your work that enables us to provide opportunities for student athletes, to ensure that we provide programming so that they develop for life after sport. So thank you for all of your service for the Big Sky Conference as well. So looking back on this past year. We have so many things to celebrate, so many things to be excited about. I think first and foremost is the fact that we won our first non-football national championship. Our folks at Northern Arizona men's cross country won our first national championship in the fall. We're so excited about their success, and although we were not out there training, we were not out there running with you, we still are as proud and so excited about being able to call ourselves national champions in the sport of cross country. We've also had a number of our athletic directors who received national awards for their work throughout the year, and we're pleased with their progress. This past year also marked our second year of a neutral site men's and women's basketball championship in Reno. This is an event where every last one of our men's and women's programs come to one city, play in one venue on the same week. It's a special program. I would say if you've not had the opportunity to attend that championship, we invite you to come out. We encourage you to join us. It's a special format. The ability to allow our men's and women's players to be able to be in the same area, to go support one another like they do all year round. We're so proud of our progress with our second year with that championship. Also, we were able to extend our relationship, with Root Sports. We're so pleased that they're here this week to help promote the Big Sky and our football program. They have been committed to our league. They have won Emmys for Big Sky football production, and so we're excited to continue that relationship. As John said, we're going to hear from Mark here shortly, so we're grateful for everything that your staff does on our behalf, so thank you for that. We talk a lot about the balance of the student athlete. It's not just about the players on the field, on the court, on the track. It's about creating a balanced experience. And with that, we can tell through the academic successes that our teams have had. Notably, we had 113 teams and 10 institutions that had a GPA average of 3.0 or higher. Let me say that again, 113 programs, and 10 universities. That's amazing to have that type of academic standard within our league, but we shouldn't be surprised because again, it goes back to the hard work of everyone that's in this room today. We also had 18 teams that performed in the top 10 of the APR nationally. So that's in the country compared to other conferences, other institutions. That's wonderful. We had over 1,500 student athletes that were on the Big Sky all academic team. We had over 40 that were all academic, all American. And so the work is being done. Our students are more than just athletes. They are well prepared in the classroom and they are getting prepared for a life after sport. With that, we like to talk about athletics too. We're all about competition and keeping score and what the results are. We had 25 teams participate in the NCAAs this year. We had 32 All-Americans. And so as you look back at this past year, it really does speak to what does the Big Sky stand for, what are the goals that we are trying to achieve, and all that happens through the hard work of our student athletes, our coaches, our administrators, our faculty who are on staff. And so we're so grateful for how far we've come, but also we're so excited about the future. One other thing I wanted to leave you in terms of last year, many of you know that with our spring meetings, we host a health and wellness symposium. NAU was our host this past year and they did a fantastic job. Our focus was to talk about sexual violence prevention. That's a tough topic to get through. However, we had 3 outstanding activists and experts come in and address our group. Individuals that attended that session were our university presidents, our administrators, our faculty, we had student athletes, we had media, we had individuals from the community that attended, and we learned a lot. And it challenges us to do better. Now that we've been given the resources and tools to make a difference, it's our job to make sure that we keep our students safe. And so I'm looking forward to continued work on that behalf. Now, changing gears to this year, it's certainly going to be another exciting one. We've got several announcements that we're going to be making over the next couple of days. The first one we'd like to share with you is our new relationship with Pluto TV. For those of you who are not familiar with Pluto, they are the top rated in the nation in terms of streaming TV networks online. And so we're so thrilled about this new relationship. For the younger generations who are cord cutting, what this means is that you can get free Big Sky content on any of your mobile devices. So it could be your handheld cell phone, it could be your tablet, your personal computer. Anytime you want Big Sky content, you've got it at your fingertips. You guys are familiar with the Watch Big Sky platform. However, the difference with going over to Pluto allows us to be available 24/7, 365. So even if there's not live content going on at the time, we have archived games from our championships to football to basketball that our fans can get access to at any point in time. So Big Sky all the time, to have our own channel, that's pretty significant, and it allows us to be the first mid-major to have an over-the-top platform. So we're very excited about that relationship. Further for this year, there's a lot going on. We have some new coaches, some that are in this room, although we would just say that they are Big Sky alum because we welcome them back to the conference. We've got some new athletic directors. We've got a lot of things going on campus in terms of upgrading of facilities or building new facilities, upgrading our academic centers. We're very proud of that. We have our student athletes who are putting in tons of hours for community service. Beyond that, we have had a record-setting year this past year with GPA and attendance, and we've got schools that are hosting national championships this year as well as USA national events. And so this year is all about positioning the Big Sky. We want to elevate our league to even greater heights, and we know that we can do that with everyone in this room. So changing gears a little bit to talk about the reason why we're here, which is football. Again, in July, and that's okay. We're coming off a great year. John shared some of those stats. So the fact that we had 4 teams in the postseason last year, we were 4 seconds away from a national championship game. I know it's too soon, it still hurts. They fought hard, but it just speaks to the success that we've had in football for so long in the Big Sky. So it was a great year, and it's helping us to build this year. We've got a number of teams who are projected to do well. North Dakota, Eastern Washington, NAU, Weber State, and many others in terms of what we think our teams are going to do based on the outcomes from last year, based on the recruits that you're bringing onto your campus. So we're excited about the football season. New this year as well is the fact that we're going to have 2 preseason games air on the ESPN family of networks. That is new for us. It speaks to some of our focus as it relates to exposure for our conference and building our brand. And that's why it's so important that we have our Root friends here. The number of games that they put on, the production value, getting our games in high definition to deliver the best possible content to your fans and to your alums. So we're grateful for the commitment that Root has. Our reach is over 30 million, and that's great for our conference. And so we're excited to continue that relationship moving forward. Now, as John mentioned, we did change the program up just a little bit this year. We do have a special guest in James Kauser. He is not only just an All-American or All-Big Sky or Defensive Player of the Year, the fact that he holds records with tackles and sacks, those are great stats, but what's really important is him as a person. We're so thrilled to hear his story and to allow him to share his experience as a student athlete because he exemplifies what are Big Sky values. So we can't wait to hear from you, James. Thank you so much for being here. All right, so before I turn the mic back over to John, I have one more responsibility, which is to give away one of our most prestigious awards. It is our President's Cup. This is the 15th year of our President's Cup. We started it in 2002, 2003. The President's Cup is a little bit unique as it relates to, it highlights and recognizes the work of our teams both academically and athletically. This year's winner marks the 6th school to ever win the President's Cup. This school finished 5th in the athletic standings with titles in volleyball and men's basketball, as well as co-champs in football and women's basketball. They did set a little bit of a record this year as well. They are the first ever Big Sky Conference school to win the regular season title in football, men's basketball, women's basketball, and volleyball. They were 3rd overall in GPA, but what's really impressive is this was the 5th year in a row that they finished top in the APR in the conference. So please join me in recognizing the University of North Dakota.